Hey everybody, welcome back. This week we're going to start where we left off last week, and we're going to start doing some troubleshooting. So you guys will kind of get to see my thought process, and hopefully we'll get something that works. Not so confident right now, but we'll see. All right, where we're going to start off is I'm going to go ahead and try and run it again without the high voltage and make sure it still turns on. I forgot, I unplugged it. All right, take two. All right, so it looks like everything turned on and everything okay, again without the high voltage. So now we'll go through some thoughts. So we learned that if we turn the high voltage back off, that it still works. So that's good. One of my first thoughts is, so I've been talking with EV Controls, there is no like protection part of their program that tells it to shut off. So my thought is the reason why it's shutting off is, again, that 12 volts is being interrupted or spiking or something to cause it to shut off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 12 volts kind of out of the car and use a separate power supply. So I'm going to do that to see if it has a constant 12 volt supply that's not affected by the car or kind of the contactors coming on suddenly, if it'll still kind of shut off. So I think if it still shuts off, we'll go from there. All right, so the rest of the car is still powered by its same 12 volt system, but just the power and ground to the controller I've swapped out with a 12 volt power supply. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the power supply, plug it in, and when I do that, this should fire up. So I don't have any high voltage connected yet, so my first thought is I just want to make sure it wakes up and it can talk to the inverter, and after that we'll do the high voltage. Doesn't like that. All right, so using a different power supply didn't quite work. I'm guessing that somehow some of the circuits are looking, I'm going to call it for continuity, like the ground matches or something. So for whatever reason, things weren't real happy doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the high voltage, take out the CAN wires, and see if it'll still trip. Or because that would help me identify if that signal's coming through the CAN wires or if it's kind of going through the power and ground wires. Okay. So that's interesting. It does seem to be going through the CAN wires that gives it the signal to kind of kick off. All right, just another troubleshooting item. I got into my high voltage box and I disconnected battery pack 2. So I'm just going to see if that behaves any differently now. All right, so it does appear that battery pack 2 somehow is helping cause the issue. So we'll start looking into what that might be and how to fix it. All right, we're gonna try this with just pack 1. Make sure it turns on, make sure the motor spins, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I think we're good. All right, because the problems seem to be somewhat tied to pack 2, I'm going to go ahead and finish installing this one. Put all the suspension and stuff back together, put wheels on, all that stuff. And I guess if I wanted to, I could go out with just pack 1 again, but still looking to fix pack 2. All right, I was able to get all the suspension somewhat loosely mounted. I haven't tightened anything yet, but got everything in. Got them on both sides. Again, not the funnest activity, but it's not too bad. So next, I'll probably just go ahead and tighten everything, put on the wheels. The battery box, I don't know quite what to do with that because we've got an issue there we got to figure out. So I might just kind of leave. Anyway, we'll get to that point. All right, got everything tightened down, snugged up. All the suspension's kind of good. Motor mounts are all tight. Kind of double checked everything. Yeah, so I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. I guess I'll just mention one tip. I usually end up marking my bolts. So like when I tighten them, so for example, that was like maybe last time it was I used red. This time I'm using purple. And that's right, I'm using some fingernail polish. So tip of the week, mark your bolts. Helps you keep things straight, what you've tightened and what you haven't. All right, so I have a new helper in the garage today. So this is Max. All right, so I reattached the essentially cooling on both sides of the motor, and also kind of reattached this guy, kind of redid all the sheathing and stuff. So not quite certain. I think I'm about ready to put on the wheels though. I'll probably double check everything one more time and then put on the wheels. All right, got the wheels on and everything back on the ground. So I need to fill it up with coolant, cycle things, make sure the coolant's all through everything. A couple wires I need to make sure that are connected. But yeah, I might go out and take it for a drive. All right, in addition to getting coolant in, the other thing I need to do is rewire my parking brake. So probably do that quick. I might do one of those 8-pin connectors and get a couple of these other things, so it's just kind of one connector to kind of take things in and out. Yeah, trying to think of anything else. I might fire it up again now that everything's kind of somewhat settled, just to make sure that I don't have any pins loose or anything, make sure it's still working. Okay, I'm getting an error code for, looks like accelerator pedal things. So let me take that apart and take a look. All right, so took down my accelerator pedal. Essentially, I've been checking wires and checking wires and checking wires. So I had pulled that out, but when I pushed it back in, one of the pins had kind of slid up. So this is again, I prefer the connectors that already have, like, I'll call it the metal contact that's secure, that's rigid in the connector itself. I don't love the ones where you solder it and then like click it in, because it seems like every time I get those, and you push it in and they kind of slide out. So anyway, I don't really have much of an option to change that, because that is kind of the pedal that you use, but I think we've got it working now, so let's try. All right, just turned it on. It seems like the accelerator pedal error, it comes on like, I don't know, like 30 seconds after it turns on, not immediately. So we'll hang tight here, make sure we don't get it. Let's see, looks like we still got it. So my guess is, again, I'll take that apart and find that one of the pins is pushed back. So we'll see. All right, so here's the connector, and this is what I'm talking about. So like basically these connections, like if they just get pushed, I mean, you see that last pin there, it's now pushed down and it can't make a connection. So again, I don't like these kind. I'm gonna see if I can, I don't know, glue it in, or maybe just get lucky one time when I connect them all. We'll keep trying. All right, part of me doesn't want to show you how bad I am, but so this is another one where, again, that pin, last one on the left there, got pushed down. So I had to take this connector apart. Again, my preference is, if possible, get those connectors that are already, the metal's already secure. You can essentially solder and splice wires, but then you don't have to worry about the connectors. These ones, yeah, again, maybe I'm just bad, but just wanted to show everybody the process. All right, this time we're hoping that we've got the accelerator pedal solved. I'll count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm going to call that problem solved. So I will go ahead and mount the accelerator pedal again and go from there. Okay, so not really video worthy, because anyway, what I'm doing is I'm kind of debubbling the cooling system. So again, I had it all debubbled and stuff, but when I had to take off the hoses and things for the repairs, again, all sorts of air got back in. So kind of topped it off, and now I'm just kind of getting all the air out. It'll probably be, I don't know, I'll probably run it for another 15 minutes or more. It takes a long time for all the kind of little bubbles and stuff to come out. So yeah, but that's what we're doing. All right, so this is the connector I just made. Again, some go to the hazard switch, some go to the parking brake. So this way I can kind of just disconnect that, and then I can pull this whole panel out. I'm actually gonna have, so I already did this one. This is for the start stop button. I'm gonna do one more for kind of all the gear selectors and the USB and voltage readout. So I'll have 3, but that way I can just unplug 1, 2, 3 and the whole panel can come out. Okay, kind of got this cleaned up, got everything soldered. Just want to make a quick comment, just something I found that works better for me. So if you ever have to do kind of multiple connectors, I like to reverse. So meaning this one's kind of like the female, and this one is the male. So basically there's no way to, when you're going to plug it into the car, that you're going to like get the wrong ones connected. That, and then I've got a separate connector there. So it's nice if you can do it so you can't mess it up. So I will go ahead and flip this over, get everything plugged in, and then we'll test to see how I did with my wiring. Okay, so I got this flipped over, all the connections are made. I'm just going to try it out, make sure that our parking brakes work, hazards, see if we can display a voltage here. I'll go through the gear selector as well. It's a lot of wires, so I'm not giving me high hopes for everything working, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so I'll say 1 for 1. That at least has a red light. Let's see if we push it if it changes. Okay, so that's open, and that's closed. So it had to cycle a few times. Again, the power is completely off, so I think it has some sort of calibration it does for the first few times, but I believe that's working. Now, so I don't have any lights hooked up, but listen for the hazards. Oh, I guess I do have some lights hooked up. So that's working. So now we'll try gear selector. So we'll go, right now we're neutral, we'll go to drive. There it is, so drive. Back to neutral. That's good. Now reverse. Come on. So no reverse. So again, I can reach up here and do reverse. Here's where I think I'm to. I think I've got most things to a point where I think I'm okay to go out for a drive. Been itching to do it for a long time. So I just need to kind of button up the top of that battery box there. Again, big cleanup, and I need to put the seats in. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I'll kind of do a pre-drive checklist because I don't want to go out just to ruin it again, but I am anxious to get it out. All right, so we've got everything kind of all sorted out, seats in. We are ready to take it out tomorrow. So it gave me fault code I. We'll have to see what that means. Okay, so one other thing I need to look at. So again, I got my gear selector working, which is nice, but I think something must not be quite as expected, because every once in a while it'll just drop me out of gear, so from drive to neutral. So one thing to add to the list. So we're able to go driving again, which was great. Gotta have a lot of fun. This does not mean our problem is fixed, so it just means we can run with pack 1. So pack 2, still have to figure out what's going on, and we'll probably do that next week. So I hope you enjoyed it. See you next week.